A very good evening and welcome to the Insight Show, of course, your favorite weekend magazine that focuses on current affairs and politics that steers big conversation. My name is Stephen George. Now, I'm joined by a very good guest here to discuss about the executive reshuffle that was just done today. The Deputy President, in presidency, we had the Rigathi Gachagua now. Is out. There was an ouster. The judiciary had confirmed that Kindiki has to steer the deputy presidency office. With me here is Mr. Constantine. Welcome to our studios.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stephen.
Yes. Do you think it's a new dawn in Kenya now? We have a new president barely 2 years after the election. We have never seen such kind of thing happening. A deputy president being impeached, you know, barely him finishing his term.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, in life,
Yeah.
things normally change. There's no permanent situation.
Yes.
Yes, and that's why even if you look at those people who, when the new constitution was implemented,
Yes.
they could not even think that a deputy president could be impeached within 2 years. So new things normally comes, and for as a country, we have to improve. So this is a new history, a new record which has been set, or a new presidency which has been set. And actually, so many things are going to happen to learn from those ones. So because one leader has just gone urgently like that one, but also there have been a lot of accusations here and there. And it would have been good as leaders to look the way to solve those things internally. And if they fail, then they can go the way they went, so that we have a new leaders. But actually, it's a normal situation. It's a new, but in life, there's no permanent situation. Things normally change. You
know, this constitution is heavily borrowed from the U.S. Constitution. Those counts that we saw, the senators and the members of parliament, those allegations, and most of these counts, some Kenyans are saying that they were not really true. What is your take on that? Do you think they had to meander some way to make him ousted?
Okay, I think if you look at they accused him of corruption.
Yes.
And also the disrespect to the president.
Yes.
And another thing was that actually his ethnicity, because he's just drumming for his own people. But if you look at our country, our leaders they're fond of ethnicity. They like to align themselves to their own people. It's a culture which has been developed.
It is a precedence that has been set for a very long time.
It's a presidency. So people like to go with the presidency. So to accuse him for being ethical is not good, because even if you look at the rate of employment in this country, they go based to the who is who in the leadership. So that one is actually something, it was just invented to kick him out. And also, if you look at their record, both of them, the way they have been governing this country, we have had a lot of problems, a lot of strikes, a lot of Gen Z going on the road. You see, it has been a lot of problems. So actually, this government has not settled down to deliver for its own people. So if president felt that actually the problem is his DBT, then to me, it would have been solved within, because what I know, we must be tolerant with each other. No one is perfect.
Right. Do you think all this wave was sparked during the Gen Z demonstrations? Now, the president thinks that he had a responsibility to unite this country.
I don't think if we can relate this one to the Gen Zs, because if you look at people who were sacked in the CS, most of them were returned. So right. It might not be.
Yes, there was a first reshuffle.
Yes.
Then some were reinstated. But the deputy president, do you think it was about time for him to also know that he was about to test waters here?
Yeah, you see, there was an argument that actually he was supporting the Gen Zs, so it could have been the reason. But in my view, as a profession, is that Kenya is operating at a higher risk. Things are not running normal. So in such a situation, he might have maybe telling the president to correct some issue, and the president was reluctant, and he saw him as an enemy. If that can be the case, then we are not developing country. We are a sinking country, which is not good. They could have discussed and understand each other and then continue staying together as leaders. Because Kenyans are tired, actually, of all these things. because since the President Ruto was elected in the office and Rigathi Gachagua, they have no peace, because they started with struggling with the people, increasing tax, closing clubs, and NGC going to the road, people are being killed, kidnapping. You see, the country is more of chaotic than a smooth running.
And a cross-section of Kenyans wanted all of them to come out, Makanga, Token, and Dereva. I remember that kind of wording.
And I've just told you that Kenyans are tired of all this fighting because they don't see the result. So if you're not seeing the result, they say even if we they remove the vice president, Mr. Gachagua, nothing is going to improve, because history, you know, we have what we call history. These 2 years has written a history which is not pleasant to the country. So people are tired. That's why they're tired. They say that hakuna haja kuacha mmoja atunyanyaze. Both of them should go.
They should have gone.
Yeah,
so Kenyans would have gone for a fresh election.
And that's why I'm saying that actually, in my view, they would have stayed together to accommodate each other and try to solve the problems as leaders, and then they continue leading the Kenya in the positive way, so that they can create employment, so that the youth can get the employment.
Now Kindiki coming in, do you think he'll do something different that his former ally didn't do?
Okay, if you look at Kindiki has been in the government, and he has been actually holding a very strong portfolio for internal affairs. Remember, so many things also has happened within his leadership. So he has not actually set a good presidency. So people, most likely, they feel that actually he will continue with his presidency. Remember, several GNCs were killed, and actually it was within his jurisdiction to ensure that all those people who committed all those deaths were arrested, but nothing happened. So what Kenyans are seeing is that they have just gone together, to join together, to exploit Kenyans, not to do good things for Kenyans, because the history tells us where we are going. So where they are coming does not show a good sign, unless they change now so that they can deliver for Kenyans.
This Kindiki factor has been there for a very long time. Remember when President William Ruto was looking for a running mate, many people speculated that the Mount Kenya members of parliament and senators and leaders who have been there for a very long time were drumming support for Kindiki. So Rigathi was just part of the question. Do you think they have been vindicated now that he has been ousted out of office?
You know, in politics, some of the politics is a game of numbers, as I said before, and maybe they considered Mr. Gachagua because of the votes. Remember, Gachagua played a significant role in this government to form it, and also Kindiki was also there. But you know, the former DP, Mr. Gachagua, is vocal, so that could have been the reason why they considered him. So Mr. Kindiki coming in, for sure, he might also help to unite Kenya, but unfortunately that these leaders, as I said before, they have not set a good presidency. So they need to recheck themselves, to check whatever they do for Kenyans, and they say that actually as leaders, we are here to serve the people. Remember, Kenya has so many people who have no jobs. All the problems are there. So the main problem, the main concern of Kenyans is that how are they going to improve our livelihood? That's the main concern for Kenyans, not who is leading.
And livelihood here, you mean by Kenya being a gateway to Africa and the economic powerhouse in the East African region, right?
Exactly.
So with Kindiki coming in, Al-Shabaab has been a very great temperament into this in our borders. Do you think with his political acumen, there's something different that he'll do in terms of security and in the trainings that he had undergone? Is there like a simulation program that will be done in presidency for him to be, you know, work well in tandem with Ruto?
You know, to work with the Ruto for him, because he's not a person who like to argue, that one is no problem. So it's like there's a likelihood that they can settle down and work. But now this one will depend on him and the president, if they will focus to serve the people. You know, most of our politicians, they serve their interests, they don't serve people. Once they divert from their interest and start serving the people, the country is likely to improve. There's nothing impossible in this world. Everything can change for the better. It's only that the way you organize your leadership, it matters a lot, because leadership starts from top going downward.
Our borders have been very porous. Al-Shabaab and other aliens have been crossing the way they feel like. Just back to my question, do you think with his political acumen and experience, there's some kind of element he will pick from those kind of experiences and input it in his new role as the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya.
Yes, as I said, you see, if leaders decide to serve people,
right,
everything is possible. Because we have what we call organizational structure, which is the government now.
Yes.
So if they sit down and say that actually, what is giving us problems? Is it the Al-Shabaab, or is it all those problems? Then they say that let us concentrate to solve our problems. They will talk with their security agencies and they tell them that actually you have to be alert because so many things are happening. So as soon as they settle down and start working on the positive to serve the people, everything is possible.
America is barely 5 days away from the election, and we've seen Kamala Harris being on the cusp of making history as the first black woman in presidency. You know, all African policies matter because when they are all having this great meeting of diplomacy in the United States, our leaders are also going to play an integral role to make sure African policies and, you know, economic policies that that are in Africa are strengthened. With the new executive, what do you think the presidency should do to make sure our economy is fostered well? Okay,
we cannot actually, as a country, we're a sovereign country, so we shouldn't be focusing on foreign too much, because as more as we focus on the foreign countries, they also depend on us, and it's not actually good for us, because even if you go somewhere, somebody is looking where he can get the aids and the loans. You know, if we can also settle down and concentrate to our own affairs as African country, because Kenya has a lot of resources.
Yes, and speaking of loans, we were just given 78 billion was approved by the International Monetary Fund yesterday. So we are developing actually.
No, borrowing loan, we're not developing from borrowing loan. What we're supposed to be doing is that we are supposed to be looking, how is our expenditure, and then we can reduce expenditures. For example, how many parliamentarians do we have? There are so many. We have so many people in the government earning the salary, but their contribution does not contribute to that money. Like chiefs, like sub-chiefs, all those people, they can be given other roles instead of creating another one. And then also in this country, another problem we have is that even if you want to create employment, you want to be accepted. Government has put roadblock everywhere. You can run even for 2 years, 3 years before you get the license. As you get that, you are struggling.
License of what?
For any business. Okay. It's not easy. So as you struggle to get the license for the businesses, you are losing the finance. So as you lose the finance, you are likely to do corruption. So corruption is likely to go up. As a country, to me, instead of thinking about America, we have our own constitution and we're a sovereign country. We can sit down and look at where our problems are. We address our problems, reduce expenditures, we create employment. I think Kenya can be a very good country. But also we need foreign countries because we need to do the business with them. A woman taking the responsibility is no problem, but also their policies is depend on the human rights. Look at the human rights of this country. I think Kenya now has deteriorated in human rights, and now we have to improve so that we can be a good friend to neighboring countries like America.
The president recently visited America. That's why I was asking that question of Kamala Harris coming in as the first black woman president. And we've seen women like Charity Ngilu being interested to vie for presidency. We've seen Martha Karua. They all have responsibility, and they can borrow 1, 2, 3 things from these foreign women and bring these beautiful economic policies that will foster this country to the next level. And we have seen separation of powers work. Last week, the judiciary was so instrumental to listen to the cases that were brought on book. In the future cases, do you think something new will be done, or they'll be referring to this kind of thing that they have been doing for the last 10 days?
Obviously, they will refer to those ones, and the more impeachment are expected, it will happen because they have set up precedents.
Because there are rumors that the parliament is planning to have a house purge. Some of these members of parliament that have been allied to the former deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, are holding some plum parliamentary committees as the chairman and chair ladies. So do you think it will be okay for the you know, these leaders to oust them out again from these positions?
Yeah, the problem is that our politics is vicious. It's not based on principle, as I said before. But in my view, they would have been left to serve in those positions so that we improve our country. And as I said, that our leaders are not serving the people, are serving their own interest. So since we are biased, we have a biased leaders, such things is likely to happen, and it's not good. It's going to create more, it's going to do more injury than goods.
And the militia, let me go back to 1998. Nairobi was affected by the bomb blast, and Kindiki getting into this sensitive position, he'll be among the council, the Security Council of this country. Do you think he will hold secrets compared to the other deputy presidents that had been alleged to not to keep secrets?
Okay, for Kindiki,
intelligence.
I'm very sure he'll hold the secrets because he'll be loyal to the president, because he's not a person who takes strong stands. So he's likely to hold them. But now this one will depend with the president, the way he's steering the country. If he can hold the secret and they sit down to serve the people, as I said before, it's good for the nation. Because what we want, as I said before, it doesn't matter who is there, whether Gachagua or Mr. Kindiki. What matters is that what are Kenyans benefiting? Because Kenyans want to see the benefit. So far, we cannot give them actually much because they haven't performed, because situation is not all that way good. People are crying, schools, you can see the strikes all over. So this is a bad presidency as a country, to be in trouble all the time. So the country cannot develop in such a situation. So if he can hold the secrets and they serve Kenyans, and that's what the people want to see. So I wish them the best to sit down and serve Kenyans, but what we must move from the political of interest to serve the people who elected us. Remember, if you talk as a leader, people does not listen to what you talk. People listen to what you do. You can be a leader, you don't talk, but people respect you too much. But you can be leader, you talk too much, but people don't respect you. So talking does not matter. What matters is what you do for the people. You know, politicians also, they have more opportunities because they normally present whatever they want on the media. So you find that the media is concentrated more for politicians than development, which is actually also wrong, because they'll keep on telling us that the country is developing based on the figures. But if you go to matrix, individual matrix, or to the village, you'll find people are really suffering, because currently businesses are not working in Kenya. The situation is very hard. And also they have talked of increasing the tax. Increasing tax does not help the country, because they're making more people more poorer. As they will make the people more poorer, the businesses are closing. By the end of the day,
right,
you'll have no tax. So actually, they should think of promoting people. We normally say that you have to use what you call a golden rule. A golden rule is that, as a person, you ask yourself, today I am in this position. People are depending on me. What are they benefiting? So people should benefit. They have to promote. So we want to see the president and the vice president pushing the people, because this country does not have efficiency.
Right.
You can wait to get, as I said before, to get a permit for the business for years. As you get the rights, you are wasting the resources. If we reduce the resources we waste, we don't have to borrow. For example, on corruption, we're losing 600 billion. On road safety, we're losing around 400 billion. This 1 trillion. Why are we borrowing and losing the money? Why can't you see that this leader sit down and say that, actually,
right,
let us reduce the losses so that we serve our people, so that we develop our country, and people will be happy and the problem will go down.
We are going to pick it right from there. It is time for us to take a short commercial break, a home of seismic conversation here at The Insight. We'll be right back with more.
Wananiita Zak Mjuzi, mtu bila watu na wajanja, wana roho mbaya kama kisu cha bucha.
Naifanya venye inafaa.
The 12 commandments of cancer prevention.
When you look at it realistically, it's something that starts from within you, from your own cells. So all of us, as we are seated here, some cancer cells are forming, but we have a secret service in the body which is more efficient if you have had enough sleep, or if you have exercised, or if you are having enough fruit and vegetables to mop up the radicals. That Secret Service is called the natural killer cells. They are always killing the cells so that they don't develop in full-blown cancer.
Basic and simple things that we all know, but apparently we don't practice.
We're having a big problem because this country soon will have no human beings.
When you hear about cancer, sometimes you think it's the end of the world.
You are overthinking, you get? So you're secreting a lot of stress hormones. So why can't you relax? Or maybe just remove your shoes and walk bare feet.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back to the Inside Show. Of course, this is your favorite weekend magazine. We are always here to update you, to bring you to speed what has been happening. We've just had a new deputy president being sworn in today, Dr. Kindiki Kithure, and joined here by our very able Constantine, an analyst. We saw Cherargei, a senator at the Senate, saying that there should be an increase from 5 years to 7 years on those elective posts. What is your take to that?
Yeah, you know, as I said before, that our politicians are not serving people, they are serving their own interest. I don't think if there's anyone who told Cherargei to start discussing about the shifting the period for the presidency is something he found that he's in leadership and he is enjoying there, so it's good for him to bring such motion so that they can see if Kenya can support it, or they can marshal the support so that they can stay in the office long. I do believe that a good leader is good to leave the office when people still needs you. So for him, since he's very comfortable and Kenyans are suffering, he did not consider the interest of the Kenyans, so it is best to himself, not for the Kenyans.
Actually, there was a public participation and we saw many Kenyans responding. What is your take on that?
Yeah, you see, when they were responding, most of the Kenyans on a public participation, they did attack the parliamentarians the way they perform, because as I said, our parliamentarians, I don't think even they discuss with their constituencies people. They're self-centered, and also our system of governance is somehow complicated because they moved it to the Bunge House. Bunge House, yes. If you go there, you cannot enter. You must communicate to a particular person before you meet. And there's not a single day set aside, like even these people in parliamentarian, to be even they can meet even to KICC to meet people so that we can ask them questions how they are performing. There's no such opportunity. So once somebody is elected, he goes, he hide himself for 5 years, he come, he start again deceiving people with a few coins here and there, and then they re-elect him again and he disappear. You see, our leadership itself has a problem. We need people who can discuss with the people to understand the people.
So majority of the people are quite poor, so these leaders just come on board and give them a slice of bread and they're just okay with it.
Yeah, and you know, is that what I can say is that our leaders like, you know, a poor person, to marshal him is very easy. To manipulate him when you are descendant. And I think they like to promote poverty. They're not promoting richness. And that's actually, I can say that actually they don't have the interest of the people. And I am insisting that our leader must turn their interests to do what to serve the people. Remember, if you look at these are people, these are like CES, these are people, the top people in the government, when they swear with the Bible, saying that actually...
Or the Quran also.
Yes, with the Quran, and they say that actually I'm going to be loyal to the
Kenyan people.
Kenyan people and the Constitution. But immediately they enter in the office, they don't do anything, they forget, they start even not honoring even the court sermons. You know, we are behaving very funny, as if we are mocking God, and this is not good for the Christians. And even if the Christians should also warn the politician, if they cannot honor the Bible, then they should be using the Bible to be sworn in, because there's no need to use the Bible for granted, because God is almighty and God must be respected. So if you use the Bible to swear the people that I'm going to respect the people of Kenya, they have to do so. They have no any other option, and that's why they are using the Bible. But politicians, they go there, They start now behaving differently. They don't talk to their people. They want to force things through the throats of the people to understand them. They try to do a lot of talking so that people are convinced. They try to convince the whole world. And you know, let me tell you, Mr. George, that if people talk of bad things of the country and they belong from that country, it's good for the leader to listen to those things and try to see where the problem is and they solve the problem so that they solve the problem once and for all. Because it's good to solve the problem so that they don't reoccur. If you don't solve the problem, they will come back again. For example, if I can just take the example for the issue for the Gen Z. Remember, it was not solved. They were just crushed. And crushing such idea is putting the country at a higher risk, whereby now if they come next time, they will not be able to crush it again. So the country can go down and then they will blame Gen Z and the leaders who are failing to deliver the responsibility.
Just to quote Moses Kuria, there's a reaction from the newly appointed Kindiki as the deputy president. He says that it is about time the Kenyans moved far away from tribal politics and go beyond. And this is someone who was an ally of the deputy president. Do you think the policy and the politics of this country is shifting?
As I said, you know, politicians, leadership start from where? Start from top. If they want this country to unite, you'll unite. If they don't want this country to be the way it is, it will be like the way it is. But now, let us try to learn. See, they have been in the office for 2 years. Let's try to see what they have done. Have they tried to unite the country? They have never tried to unite the country. So I really don't know where Mr. Kuria is getting the data to say that the country is going to unite. But as a politician, he can talk what he thinks. But I don't see any grains of uniting this country. We're still very far away to unite this country, actually. Because the time we shall stop favoring our tribe, employing people based on qualification, or opening the way so that people can create employment for the youth, the country to be comfortable, it will be very easy. But the way the situation is, I don't see the possibility.
So you mean Kindiki has a very big task to work in tandem with the president to make sure everyone is served equally in terms of employment, job opportunities, and anything that concerns presidency and service to the people. He has to bring his acumen on the table.
Yeah, I think it's not, okay, as the way I said, if they're in a good relationship with the president, they can sit in the boardroom and see how to manage the country as a team. You know, if you have somebody who is very close to you and you work as a team, the possibility of development is actually, the possibility is there to develop the country. But this one will depend most likely to the president himself and their relationship and the way he wants the direction of the country to go. But also, as I said, that you see, Kindiki is not new in politics. He has been in politics for a very long time. And when the Gen Z were killed, he was the interior. And the interior, he could have played an integral role to solve this problem. But so far, we have seen nothing. So the possibility that he's going to play that role to make this country to work, maybe he changed, but the possibility is minimal. Because as by history, he has not demonstrated to be a good leader who can unite the country.
President William Ruto is very focused in making sure that his think tank in the country really works so well. A population of 50 million people in this country, yet only 3 million Kenyans are paying taxes consistently from January to December. We have unemployed youths who have graduated, and the numbers are barely 300,000 that have college degrees. All these numbers, now we have people doing, students sitting for their KCPE, that's 1 million population. All these people, they need to be put in some place, you know, they need bread, they need that kind of service from their leaders. How will he create these opportunities and make them equal? That's
a very splendid question. And each leader should get worried wherever he is, because we cannot have a country where we are producing so many youths and we are not getting employment. This is a timing bomb. It can explode anytime. So, as a leader, it's not the work of the president to create the job. It's any Kenya who has opportunity, like us, as I told you before, last time, and let me repeat it again. We have a lot of jobs in Kenya, and it's very wrong a leader to wake up and say that.
You can mention the jobs.
Okay, it's very good.
But the manufacturing sector, of course.
No, you see, currently also, we have to understand that currently the world is changing. The world is moving from industrial to connection economy. What do I mean by connection economy? Connection economy is whereby people can come together, then they contribute money, and that money can be used to do something else. For example, I have a project for Boda Boda. Let me use that one for an example.
Right.
You see, if you look at the Boda Boda in Kenya, the other day we were in events, and you find that many of them are being killed on road accidents, which actually is very true. If you look at the statistics of road traffic accidents, people who have been infected is around 16,000 people. And so that's one.
In a period of how long?
9 months.
9 months.
Yes,
This
9
year?
months. Yes, this year.
Okay.
So if you try to ask someone who is managing road safety, they will tell you, no one knows. You see, we're a country, you can think that we're a country joking.
The Ministry of Transport, there are no departments that can exercise this kind of responsibility?
No, the leadership, it's confusing.
Or it's the private sector
You
who are not doing it?
you see, we were not that one, but let me just try to make people understand.
Yeah.
You see, we have NTSA. NTSA is a regulator. A regulator is to ensure the compliance. But compliance is not safety. We must have internal system and external system. External system is to ensure, external system, which is the regulators, they have to ensure that there's a system existing. So internal system, their work is to develop the safety culture so that we reduce the accident. So we were on the employment, so we should not run away from the employment. So employment, to me, when I see all those accidents, I saw them as a job opportunity. Because what we are losing on road traffic accident, we are losing around, I saw recently, 400 billion yearly. And let me tell you, Mr. George, Kenya is borrowing.
On Boda Boda alone?
No. On transport, road accidents.
Yeah.
So all these things, what if they can be given to the private experts, and then they can form to experts, they can employ youth, they will be trained, they will be managing safety, helping the motorists to manage the safety, and they will create employment for Kenyans. You see, we shall be reducing the AIDS we shall be creating employment. Go to construction. If you go to construction, you will find that we have so many problems, like people working in the construction sites, they're not even using the PPE. If they're not using the PPE, they're getting
protective gears.
Yes, protective gears. You saw we have the silica in the cement. If they're breathing in cement, and let's say that in 5 years, if you work in 1 year in cement and we're bringing the cement, in 6 years you will die. The kidney will have gone. So even if they have the share is not going to help you. So the government should put effort into prevention. We all know that prevention is better than cure. So we have to forget a cure and go for prevention. But this country, prevention is very poor. So we are a reactive country. As we're a reactive country, we're creating more problems and using money to solve the problems, but not solving the problems.
Right. Kindiki has left a very huge position. That was the interior cabinet. Whom do you think can steer that kind of role properly, the way Kindiki did it?
Well, the issue is that I don't like discussing people. I like discussing issues mostly. But what I can say is that if we create a good system, a weak person can lead. If we have a bad system, even strong one cannot lead. You'll be more chaotic. For currently, Kenya is more chaotic. It needs somebody who has sobriety, who think about the people, put the system in place, work with other people, other leaders, so that they can improve the country. Because a single person, you cannot lead 50 million. You need other people to support you. But to support you, as I said, that we need people with integrity, wherever they are, to be supported by government. So these people, their goals can support organizational goals. And these organizational goals can impact national goals. So we have to work as a team. For example, if you look at the police force,
right?
Yeah, there's a lot of corruption there. You see?
Before you get into the employment, that's what you mean?
Okay. Sorry?
Before someone gets employed, do you mean that's the corruption, the amount that is needed for someone to be employed?
No, what I'm trying to mean is that, the work of police, if you go to the police station and you try to report the case there,
right,
you are not likely to be helped unless you give the bribery. Remember, if you want to know that our system has a problem, let me just use what happened. If you look at the IPOA was complaining that they cannot be served with papers to help them to track those people who killed the Gen Z. Look at this, these people are working for the government, one government, but it's not coordinating with each other. You see, that's a problem. So it is as if it's independent and they don't want to share information with the other person. And you know that politicians are not, mostly they like to put into politics other things which are not good, which we normally say that the power play. They want to do things under the scene or under the table, to play the cards under the table. So this such playing does not actually favor the other department. But let me tell you, my friend, that if this country can unite and the government try to work with everybody Kenya is a great country. We are going to develop very fast. The problem is that they're selfish and they want to serve their interests. That's the problem we have. So the first thing they should do, they have to create organizational structures so that they open up. Somebody has where he can report the issues whenever he has. I myself have tried to report several cases to the police station. I have gone to the AICC. I went to meet the director to discuss with him how we can prevent the corruption, but I couldn't get the opportunity. You have to spend a lot of time going there. But if we have effective system whereby you go and report information and that information is being acted on, I'm telling you, Kenya is going to develop very fast. Kenyans are very hardworking people. So the problem we have is the leadership, not the people.
So Raymond, there are a section of leaders who are drumming support for Raymond Omolo, who is in the cabinet, who work together with Kindiki. So him becoming the interior CS, do you think there'll be shift in policies?
You know, the problem is that if the politicians talk, they talk in slangs, they don't give full information. Because if they're drumming for Mr. Omolo, they could have told that Omolo is ABCD. Actually, I have not done research on Omolo's history to understand what he has done so far. But a leader must have done something so that there's a continuity. So that they can say that actually Omolo has done ABCD, so we want him to take this one he's going to do. But as I said before, politicians are only fighting for their own so that they can have somebody, they have the inner circle, so that they can do their own things. They're not doing it for somebody else. But actually, as I said, if we have a good system, anybody can lead. Because there's a transparency and everybody will be able to lead. Because leadership you can improve on leadership. But if there's no good system, I'm telling you, even the best leader will fail. So what we need to do, we have to improve our system so that it can be functional.
Improving our system, Mr. Constantine, do you think we are going to need a lot of budgetary allocations to make this system work? Because, you know, the president was trying to create more funds through the finance bill that the court said that there was enough public participation and it was approved by the Supreme Court. Do you think this kind of system that you are advocating for in these institutions, should they be asking for more money from the taxpayers' kitty? Will it all make everything straight?
I said we are a reactive country, and I've talked about the industrial economy and connection economy. Let me just go to Juakali so that I can explain the point clearly, people to understand. In Juakali, we have around 18 million people. As we have 18 million people, these people are really suffering. They don't have system. You saw the other day when the market burned in Nairobi here. All the property got lost. If we have good system, we are going to reduce losses to the people. As I said, you see, our company is Safety for You Limited. It's creating what we call a connection economy. So we can support the Juakali people. They can go in small group. Let's say now, like Juakali, they go in the groups whereby they get the safety, they improve their welfare or the system, and then they contribute small money so that they can even be giving one person to improve his welfare and they improve the other person. So it can be a merry-go-round. We improve the people. It does not need more money. Because you see, whenever we think of employment in Kenya, the problem is that we think of spending more money. We don't think of reducing the expenditures. And if we want to create more tax, we don't have to increase tax. From where are we increasing the tax and we want to create the employment? You have just talked around, now that we have people, only 3,000 people paying the tax. So if we keep on increasing this
3 million
people,
yes,
they might even now be unable to deliver anything. What we have to do, we have to create enabling environment so that people create employment. For example, they can say that, let's say that the presidential advisor, they can go to KICC. They say that all the people who have ideas to create their business, let us meet them and discuss with them and see how they can help the country to create employment. They can ask me like now, Constantine, how many employment can you create within 2 years? I can say, okay, for me, I can employ like 5,000 people in 2 years. How much money can we support you? Give me 5 million to start so that in 1 year, I have employed 5 million people. They'll be getting salary and then they will also be paying tax. You see, the profit will be more than that one. As I said before, we are losing over 1 billion on losses in this country, 1 trillion annually. So if we can sit down as a country and we say that, actually, as a country, we have too much, we have a lot of losses in this country. What can we do to reduce these things? Because all these people who are stealing in corruption, they are Kenyans. People who are dying in road traffic accidents are Kenyans. People who are managing road traffic accidents are Kenyans. You know what's happening in this country is that this system of leadership is created to crush new ideas. No new idea will bring and work in this country. Never, it will never work. Unless you know somebody in the government. If you don't know anybody, it will never work. They will crush it. And that's how we create the poverty. So we keep on increasing the tax where it does not exist. By the end of the day, the country is going to go down.
Right, interesting. Home of big and seismic conversations here on The Insight. It is time for us to take another short break. We'll be right back with more here on The Insight.
Before I introduce our guest, our amazing guest for today, we have a very short clip for you guys. Hapa tutakuonesha pencil art, how to draw a portrait ya dem. Check this out.
Manze, me, I go by the name of Mike MG. I'm an artist, stroke rapper, stroke shrapper, stroke trapper. Yeah.
So hata before we start, wazazi wako walisemaje about your music? Did they support you?
I'm still young, need some guns, need some insight. Kuserereka tutadunda will be hell of a night. Autopilot zitashika will be on my flight. The sativa devil's ladies made me high like a kite.
So do you think msanii pia anafaa ku cloud chase ndio talent yake ionekane, ama inafaa kuwa only talent?
Go for Fenagito, I'd go for Octopizzo.
Octopizzo.
And I'd go for P-Unit.
Oh.
P-Unit as a whole. Wakiwa group.
Waikiki.
Yes,
Fresh. Hebu niambie ulikuwa unafikiria nini ukitengeneza hiyo video?
Kienda music festival nilikuwa nafanya mafoka. Mafoka ilikuwa performance ya kurap na Kiswahili.
What? Okay.
Yeah. Ni kama shairi lakini ni rap. Lazima ikuwe na articulate message. Yeah, hadi tukafika finali huko Kasa.
Welcome everyone. It's your girl Alice and this is GBS TV Art Club, the best art show in Eastern Africa.
So through the four gospel books, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, John, we can know the heart of Jesus in depth. And the Jesus that we can feel him through the scriptures, and I'm very thankful about that. Jesus Christ came to this earth for our sins. He carried our sins. And he was crucified, and he received the punishment for sins. And he was put into the tomb and resurrected in 3 days. This is the gospel that we speak. About how Jesus died for our sins. The purpose of Jesus being crucified. He was crucified to pay for our sins. And through Jesus being crucified, clearly our sins have been washed clean. However, unfortunately, many people still say that they are sinners.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back to The Insight, of course, your favorite weekend magazine where we bring you up to speed what has been happening in the day-to-day's politics. Joining me here is Mr. Okello, and we are here again. You mentioned that chiefs and sub-chiefs, they barely do anything in this country. So this constitution was quite expensive for this country. Do you think we should go back to the old constitution?
No, we shouldn't go for the old constitution because we have what we call opportunity for improvement. Every situation can be improved. So what we have to do, as I said, is that you can see that we had what we call Manyumba Kumi in the village there. So these chiefs can be trained also to assist people. You see, we have what we call metrics. We have so many youths, they don't have jobs, and some of them even, their character are questionable. They are doing bad things there, but actually chief do not know them. So if a chief can ensure that he understands his people and he train his people to create money, it can be good. So we can also train these chiefs so that they can teach the youth. You see, we have what we call TOT, train of trainers. We can train them to make people to make money. But if chief, their job, they can wake up and start looking people who are doing business and start taking the bribery, then it's a liability to the country. They're not helping the country to develop.
It is 14 years later into the 2010 constitution, and we've had a cross-section of Kenya say that, okay, it was expensive. Do you think we can do some of these clauses to be redone in parliament? people like the women rep positions. There are people who do not really feel the kind of responsibilities they are trying to do in this country are not really feeling the ceiling.
Yeah, as I said before, you see, if you look at the parliament, it's like the parliamentarian now, we have so many seats. Even if you want to meet, as I said before, if you want to meet parliamentarian, it's very difficult. For sure, we don't need to have all those seats. We have to have a reduced seat so that we reduce the expenses. And also, if you look at the counties, we have so many counties. Okay, they were created with good intent. But the problem is that we did not change our culture. As we have been talking about the US, our bad culture of corruption, we moved them into the counties.
So corruption was devolved into these counties.
Yes, exactly. We developed the problems.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying let us create a workable system. We have ISO 9001 is quality management system. It's never implemented anywhere in this country. So all this corruption you see is created by bad system. As I said, if let's say, my friend, you have a company, you are paying employers, and you cannot get a certification to do your business, you'll go to corruption so that you can be relieved from the problem. But if we have efficient system, working system, corruption will go down automatically. We don't have to do. So what we have to do, we don't have to go again for what we have created. We don't have to blame the constitution. We have to improve what we have and see where the waste are and reduce those waste so that we can use them. And for sure, there's no need for anyone else. Even the Bible says that no one should eat without working. We have to ensure that anyone in the government is working. So president has to be very strict and put policies that people work. We saw the former Pombe Magufuli. He did even reduce the traveling. You see, if you look at the money we are spending on travel, which does not help someone else, it's enormous. It's a waste of resources. You know, somebody, when he's in the office and he has opportunity, he used that opportunity to benefit himself. The country is losing 600 billion. I do not understand why we are losing 600 billion. But our system of leadership is reactive. Reactive system does not help anyone. It's a waste, and Kenya will never develop until we change.
Right. Gachagua left some great policies, and including the former Second Lady, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi. They're fighting against alcoholism in some parts of the country. Do you think some of these initiatives, Kindiki can inherit them and continue with those great jobs that he was doing?
Okay, he was fighting illicit alcoholic.
Yes.
How was he fighting it? You see, as I said, that I've just said being reactive is very wrong time. We must have a working system. A working system is not a resting country. System must be running. You see, if you look at, we have something called PDCA, and it was done study in Europe in 1929. PDCA just means that you have a system which is checking itself.
What is it in full? PDCA.
Yes, it's checking itself. If there's a mistake, they remove. But the problem with the government, they work and relax, and work and relax is not continuous unless they are told. So we come with the policies that are not working. And that's why I told you that we have chiefs. If chiefs can be strict and work with the people, create friendship, like professional, like us, they discuss with us, we're going to improve. They know everybody, whatever he is doing. Because I don't think if somebody will accept to be a thief when chief knows him. You know, people steal because they have opportunity. We have corruption because there's opportunity. What we normally do, with me, I'm not trained in Kenya, I was trained in abroad. So what we normally do, we remove that opportunity of doing those bad things. As we remove that one, we improve by design. If you improve structure by design, all those problems will go down automatically. And then everybody will be happy because they will be promoting each other to develop so that we can develop our country. As I said before, let me repeat it again. We have what we call a person. This personal effort should actually impact organizational impact, and this organizational goal should impact the national goal. That's how we are supposed to do. But if somebody is sitting, stealing, or eating without working, that person is a liability. So we have to improve our system so that we can work for our nation to make a great nation. As I said, I have worked over 10 countries all over the country, and Kenyans are respected people. So we must bring respect from home, whereby people work very hard so that we can create the employment. And our aim is to create more employment, even in Kenya, to work outside. So you see, Kenyans now, we are selling laborers. But wherever they are going, we're taking our graduate to go and do what? To go and do manual jobs in foreign countries, which is not a good thing. We have to create jobs within. We can bring those companies within. So if we create a good environment, enabling environment, I'm very sure very many investors will come in Kenya and create companies, and those companies are going to employ people, and even us also we can create employment. The problem is that this government has put roadblock everywhere and nothing is working currently.
Some cross-section of Kenyans are saying that Kindiki is part of the question to be used in the 2027 general election. They are saying that he's also going to be used the way Gachagua was used to get Ruto, give him that power stamp. Do you think they kind of saying something true?
I said there's no permanent situation. You see, situation is being created.
Yes.
You write your history. So, as he has been put in the position of vice president, if he writes good history, he can do a good job. He can even be a president.
Some are even saying online that he can barely even work 1 year and you'll see him getting ousted just the way his predecessor has been, you know. No,
for sure, president has been set. So
yes.
it's a risk, but there's no permanent situation. Situation can change. So the issue is that as we are praying, Kenyans, let's pray that they work in harmony so that we develop our country. As I said before, is that the problem of politicians, they're serving their own personal interest. They're not serving the interest of the people. But suppose we are serving the interest of the people, I don't think such things could happen. So the issue is that it's just to change the game plan, how they work so that they serve the people. And I don't see anything difficult. If they put a good organization, they're going to collaborate with everybody, they collaborate with the people. It's going to be okay. We want to see our country comfortable. But people are commenting like that one because we have set a bad presidency and they have seen nothing seems to be working in this country. It's only a chaotic country. So that's why people now are just guessing that actually these people are going, they're just projecting that people are going to keep on fighting until the 2027, which shouldn't be the case actually. I cannot pray for that one because people normally suffer too much when leaders are suffering. So we pray that actually let them try to work in harmony so that we can develop our country because we have a great nation.
We have never seen something like this in the entire Africa or the world. You see, no African leader can go down without war or any fight, yet we've seen the former deputy president going down with grace. He hasn't called for any kind of gathering anywhere. We've just seen a very beautiful message that he has shared with Kenyans. If I can mention, he's having a great time with his family and is happy, having a great time. He'll be going for exercises here and there. Such a great way from a leader to pitch it for the rest of the country. These are very great precedents. And do you think if it were other politicians, we know some part of railway line would be out now?
No, you see, I said, you see, okay, the first thing is that the former DP, he wrote his history whenever he was campaigning. We saw how aggressive he is, yes, how abusive he was. The problems when they went to, remember sometimes back the ship for former president was stolen. You know that the situation has humbled him. It's not that he's a humble person. The situation has humbled him. And don't say that we have never seen a leader going down without a problem.
A deputy president.
A deputy president.
Yes.
But remember, a deputy president is not as powerful as president. But remember, Mugabe, there's a time he was just humbled down and things changing. You know, anything to happen, there must be opportunity. Once you remove the opportunity, nothing will happen. So any leader who creates opportunity, good opportunity or a bad opportunity, he will lead people into positive way. So since there was no opportunity to create a problem, I don't see what he could have done.
So you mean the presence of nationalism was absent in Rigathi Gachagua? We didn't see that kind of semblance representing the 45 faces of Kenya. That's what you mean by abusive, right? Okay, yeah, that's what I mean. You know, remember when he was the president, the way we said that he was trying to eliminate illicit. We can alcohol, see, yes, alcohol. You can see
of
which were very great initiatives that he was supporting with alongside his wife.
No, it was not a great initiative. As I told you, our system is a faulty system, has a problem. You see, people are in government to be working 24/7. So there's no need to relax. If they put in place a good system, chiefs can manage those illicit brews. As I said before, that they take the matrix of the people, they know everybody. They know who is doing bad things or who is doing the good things. Vice President does not have to go for those things if we have a working system. But because we have a reactive system where people relax and forget what they do, it forced him to go and do it. And the way he did it, it created more harm than good. I don't want to, let me try to explain so that you can understand. Don't print a good picture. Let's look at the both side of the coin. Once you go and stop all the business, these people are depending on this business. The question is, how did they start doing illicit brew? There was opportunity to do those ones. Suppose they were collaborating with the chiefs and moving to them to check the way they are doing the business, it wouldn't have happened. But chiefs are sitting and then they're being ordered to go and arrest everybody so that they take opportunity to collect bribes. But if we have working system where a chief can go and take someone who is selling the beer, he greets them, he goes away, such things will not happen. People will be just enjoying. You see, if you look at Tanzania, we have what? We have konyage. If you look at Uganda, we have arake. People are drinking. There's no illicit brew. It's our system creating all these things. So government is playing backward and forth. They create bad system.
So who should crack the whip, according to you? Because these institutions like the watchdog institutions are not taking their job seriously.
I said, you see, we have so many chiefs in this country and sub-chiefs.
They are not cracking the whip accordingly.
Their work, it's not cracking. The issue is that they have to train people to understand what they're supposed to do. They have to work with the people. They have to encourage the people to have the associations. They have to encourage the people, the Manyumba Kumi, to work with them as a team. The problem of Kenyans, when you are working in the government, you think you are a boss, you are not servants. That's what the problem is. So you sit, no one will ask you to do anything. So when the problem comes, now the boss order you to go and crack the people and create a lot of confusion, put people in problems, people stay hungry, other people die. So they think that that's the leadership. That's not a leadership. That's dictatorship. So it's just like creating a system which is like a colony. We have to create a system whereby a chief can visit somebody who is licensed doing the business and talk to him and understand how this person is doing his business. So that even this person knows that chief is coming here, I cannot do illegal things because I'll be arrested when I do the legal thing. That's what is supposed to be done. But chief will never do that. Chief will only go there to arrest, to harass the people, which is wrong. Wrong system of leadership.
Mr. Okello, for fidelity of truth, you mentioned that Rigathi Gachagua was a very vocal leader. And we are seeing a new deputy president who barely, gets his mouth out there into things. Do you think he has been that kind of a leader, was more of a visionary leader?
Okay. The way I say that history tells us where we are going.
Right.
Yes. And he has been the Interior Ministry.
Right.
So Interior Ministry, well, let us look at what he has done in the Interior Ministry. We can see that Gen Z were killed, abduction is going on. Mm-hmm. So if we look at the history, what he has been doing, it tells us where we are going. So improvement is not likely to come because he will have to continue with the presidency he had set. So we are likely to see more chaotic system again the way it was. So it makes little difference. Unless he's a human being, he can change. They can decide to serve Kenyans, he can change. But if we look at the history, we are not heading to a softer ground. It's still a hard ground because he could have dealt with the people who killed who caused the deaths for the Gen Zs, or all those deaths and all this abduction could have stopped a long time ago. Because as a leader, he has all the government machinery to help him to stop the abductions, but they are going on. So people normally perceive it as a government planned issue. It might be or it might not be, but the situation is not good. So if he maintains the presidency, then we are headed to a rough road.
Just to conclude, what is your parting shot on this regard that we have a new leader? There are people who are not feeling like they have been included in government. What is your message to them that can unify them?
Okay, very good. What we need is that Kenya is a great country. We need leaders who serve people. We need leaders who have empathy. They empathize with the people, understand the people, and help people to grow, not to kill the people. Because Kenyans are trying their level best, but our leaders believe in pushing people and crushing people so that they can stop whatever is happening for temporarily. But they have to be a supportive leaders to help the people to grow the country, because we don't have any other country. We have Kenyans as our country. Let each and everyone feel he is at home and love their leaders.
Nice way to finish it. That was a great time here at the Inside Show. Of course, I'm your favorite, anchor tonight. My name is Stephen George. Let's meet next week, same time here on the Inside.
Everywhere, GBS.